So a while ago, I was applying for my permanent residency here in Canada. So I had to collect a lot of different things to prove to your government that I'm a worthwhile human being. It's a very expensive, very tedious kind of scavenger hunt, very low on fun. And one of the things that I had to do was take an English test. You know, just to check and make sure that the native English speaker can speak English. Ridiculous? Maybe. Fair? Definitely. And if I absolutely have to take a test, I'd much rather it be a test that I don't have to study for. So I get there about an hour beforehand in order to be processed. Now, I've never been to jail, but I have seen Orange is the New Black, so I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about when I say it's exactly like being processed for jail. I mean, I didn't have to take my clothes off and no one checked my cavities, but they did take fingerprints several times and a mugshot. They continuously checked my ID. They took almost all of my belongings. I could have a water bottle, but it needed to be clear, colorless, and without a label. I could wear a jacket, but if I did, I would not be allowed to remove it for the 3-hour test. If I needed the bathroom, and I did have to be escorted there, and my passport held hostage until I was back in the test room. Okay, you know what? It wasn't like jail. It was exactly like high school. So I did the 3 hours of listening, reading, and writing, feeling like a superhuman. It was very easy. There was no 12 tenths. It's really just conversation. Can you express yourself? Yes, great, tick in the box. Although I did feel a little nervous when it came to the speaking portion. Traditionally, I have never done well with oral exams. And I know maybe that seems a little silly now when I'm standing here talking in front of you for fun. But you know, that didn't make me any less nervous. So the test took place in a room with just me and an instructor. And it began normally enough, just like a regular conversation, if your regular conversations were recorded to be assessed later by a panel of judges. And then he started asking actual questions. Please spend 2 minutes discussing an important tradition from your culture. You have 1 minute to think about it first. He set the timer. I stared at him, mildly terrified. Australia has a lot of traditional culture. If you're Aboriginal, or maybe from a migrant family, I am neither of those things. I am the very boring kind of white person with zero culture or traditions. So I'm really glad that I have this 1 minute to think it over because I have nothing. The first thing that pops into my mind is a sausage sizzle. A sausage sizzle is a sausage-only barbecue. Yeah, I can't really spend 2 full minutes talking like about a sausage party. That's just... I don't know, what else does white Australia have? Getting really drunk and being racist, a lot of people do that. But I really don't want to tell my Indian instructor, hi there, I'm from the land of racists, please let me into Canada. The timer beeps, and the instructor smiles expectantly, waiting for my 2 minutes about tradition and culture. I nervously open my mouth, and my mind is blank. An important tradition in my culture is the sausage sizzle. Shit. Did I really say that out loud? The sausage sizzle, I continue, is a sausage-only barbecue. People barbecue sausages, and sometimes onion, and they give it to you in a piece of bread with tomato sauce, which you would call ketchup. Yeah, it starts out rocky. But then, you know, I actually managed to hit on something that justifies all this talk of sausage. Because a few days before the test, Australia had an election. And I noticed that all over social media, people were talking more about the sausage sizzle than anything else. Because traditionally, they set them up at polling stations, you go vote, and then you come out and you buy a sausage and some bread. A sausage that people were calling the democracy sausage. On Twitter, the official emoticon for the election was a sausage and bread. Yeah, I guess sausage is more fun to talk about than politics. So I finished the 2 minutes feeling very pleased with myself. I saved it. Unfortunately, This question was meant as a springboard for a series of questions asking my opinions about how to keep traditional culture alive. I don't know. Barbecuing sausages? And what are the pros and cons of traditional culture versus modern culture? One has more sausage? So I leave the test feeling concerned. Obviously I'd pass. You could understand everything that I was saying, but I did just fail most of my oral test with sausage. And while I was pleased that I made my instructor chuckle for most of the test, I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to get extra marks for that. But 2 weeks later, I got my results. Every section, fairly good marks. Oral section, full marks.